have a young cop that creates a narrative of another cop, and we hear that the cops back each other up, but I've heard a lot that there's a lot of cops, bad cops, not only create for society for us, you know, are bad towards us, but are even bad towards other cops. Because if you're a good cop, obviously you're not going to get along with the bad cop. Well, this young cop, pulls over a detective. Now, let me tell you something. To be detective means this young guy has paved himself a way successfully. In fact, this young cop, I'm sure, would love to be a detective. And so I could see and hear in this guy's voice and the way he's talking to this guy, like he's a little jealous, I think. And because of that, he begins to treat this detective like he's got something to hide. And you could tell that he's just building a narrative. And there ain't nothing he can do. He just, but a lie is a lie. And sometimes, when a lie is told is worse than the truth, sometimes because people tend to believe the lie, or they don't believe it. At least it makes them think something, you created, doubt into people's minds. So listen here, truth tellers, we're all about exposing the truth. And I have this thing right now about social issues. And one of them is police officers taking advantage of people all the time because they've been given a badge. And cop after cop after police officer after police officer has been fired, have been sued. I mean, right now it is on fire across the country because of YouTube and because of body cams. Body cams and YouTube are like brother and sister. They work together and they are getting the job done. They are holding police accountable. Left police for the first time in the last 2 or 3 years actually going to prison, going to jail, being held accountable for their crimes because yes, it's criminal what they do. It's criminal. If we did it, we would go to jail. If we did half the things that they did, we would be in prison. There's cops getting life. There's cops getting 25 to life. There's cops being held accountable so much. Lawsuits are even on. It's one thing to get them criminally convicted. If they don't get them criminally, then they get them in the lawsuits, and lawsuits are flying out the windows right now. I believe almost every YouTuber I know has won their case. There's been a few little hiccups here and there, but as long as we're following the law and we're doing what we're supposed to be doing, and the police officer is not doing what he's supposed to be doing and not following the law, they're going to lose. And, you know, I believe it's time for us that the people start taking back the government. We oversee the government. That is our job. We the people. We are the overseers. We are the custodians. And it's our school systems, our police systems, our jail systems, our juvenile hall systems, our children's welfare systems, the children welfare department that handles adopted children. It goes. There's so much corruption in government right now, and I love America, but it's time that we're rolling in the line a little bit and start holding that line more tighter of accountability. It's only fair that if we give you the authority, then you give us the whereabouts to hold you accountable and that you follow the line. If you're making 150,000 a year, 200,000 a year, some of these cops, the least you could do is be willing to be held accountable and follow the law. That's it. That's all we want. Follow the law. If you live in a state that you can't, you don't stop, and we're not a stop and ID state, then stop doing it. Stop asking everybody for their ID. Stop acting like everybody's a criminal. Every time you stop, well, there's suspicion. Well, suspicion's not enough. Just goes on and go on and on and on. We'll see right here. Please subscribe to the channel. Listen, man, we're a brand new channel, man. We're trying to get some love out there, get some likes, some shares with you guys, man. Our first goal is to hit our first 1,000. So listen, our first 500, we're gonna show some love. We're on our way already. We got 200. Let's do it, man. We want to hit that 500. Well, our 1,000. But we got to subscribe, people. Come on, just don't check in and not say hi. Please comment. Tell me where you're from, what city you're from, and with no further ado, man, let's get this baby started.
I'm the wrong guy. I'm not going to answer questions
like
about...
a street attorney or something?
No, I'm a police officer in this town.
Don't get offended because he called you out and you're free to stop. You find out a traffic violation.
It's just aggravating. That's the last person I would expect to do something like that would be one of us. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he's our IA guy, so probably why he acts like an ass right now.
Nice.
Here we go. See how they talk about him?
So you used to be an officer with a
9 years later.
SO? There's a gun in the door right here. He doesn't want me to run his name on the radio.
Okay.
So I'm going to go check real quick.
Okay.
I appreciate that. All right.
Man, he did work for the county.
Yeah.
I don't know where he's at now. Where's he? Is he at anywhere now?
City owns a security. He has a private security.
So now listen, just so you get a little update. This guy pulled him over nine years before. This is 9 years later, this stop. But what this cop is talking about, it's the stop that you're going to see that we first started with. That guy started a lie that he was in a drug area. Started that narrative. Why is he in the drug area? What's he doing? First of all, the guy has his family and his kids in the back. And they just came back from like a movie shoot thing. And this guy now 9 years later, he owns like his own, he's driving like a $150,000 truck, owns his own business, his own security business. That's and cahoots to him, man. He's doing great in life. And he's just parked doing his paperwork. He says, because as a cop, he did it for so long, he just likes doing it. So, and plus, he's doing pretty much almost the same work, except doing private security stuff, for, big, for whatever, artists, rappers, whatever it may be, whoever it is that needs private security. It's a big thing today. YouTubers have security. It's a big thing today. And so, yeah, but that's what this young cop 9 years ago started a narrative that he was being sketchy when he pulled him over, because the cop told him, I'm just not the one. Question me all these questions. He knows where he's going. He's a cop, so he said, just write the ticket. That's it. Just write the ticket. And the young cop got offended, and so what does he do, man? He does whatever he can do from this one stop. 9 years later, they're still talking about it. So I'll let it play.
Your license.
Yeah, I can't remember. Did he get run off from the county?
He got run off from the county and that beat him up.
Yeah, he got run off from the county because years ago he was over there around House Street at around a known drug house.
See?
And he was working at the county at the time. He had some other folks there with him that were kind of shady then. And Sharbo
had his wife with him.
And it was a big to-do about it because I think he was buying dope.
Today's video is a little different, and you're going to want to stick around because it exposes what happens when a cop, or actually an internal affairs officer, crosses that blue line of quote-unquote brotherhood. And to tell this story, we need to go back to 2016 when Jeff Farmer was Detective Jeff Farmer for the Internal Affairs Division of the Sheriff's Office. And if you don't know, internal affairs officers investigate cops within their department for wrongdoing. And
Right.
this video was originally
Right.
put together by Jeff Farmer himself. And
So now, what he just says is very important. See, these cops know that these AI guys are like he just said, are the ones that hold them accountable. The cops don't like them because they put them in jail. And these AI guys know how dirty cops really are. I mean, the truth of the matter, they hear, and the AI guys hear more about them than they do about AI guys. Like whatever's going on in that department, if somebody's like getting in trouble all the time, somebody's on that dirty list, getting up on that dirty list, they hear about those names. And so he just said this young detective started putting this videos together to make sure that his testimony and his testimony stayed clean, because this young cop really tried to out of just talking behind his back, man. And he knew nothing about the AI guy. For one thing, you can't, because these are guys that actually interview police officers. So police officers can't know about them. They're in their own little crew, and they're high up. They arrest police officers. They can put the cuffs on them.
sent to me. And I have since made my own edits for time and additional info. And so this all starts with IA Detective Farmer and his family being pulled over by the city police in Lufkin, Texas, while
With
they're
this
on their
family.
way home from a photo shoot.
Remember, he's with his family. His whole family.
Charles King David 4178 36. If you have a unit close, go ahead and roll them this way.
32, good. I was telling my unit. I'm at 36.
So why don't you go ahead and kill the engine? Go ahead and turn it off. Huh? Turn your vehicle off. Thank you. Officer Sarvo, Lufkin Police Department. Is your driver's license, proof of insurance? Good.
What's the problem with my vehicle?
Nothing. You just had your foot on the brake and your blinker on, so you'd be surprised what we deal with here. So, the reason I pulled you over, you failed to signal your turn twice, Pershing and Turner at House. And you're not using your blinkers, they're not working, or what?
We saw something funny. Me and my family were just turning around to look at it. I didn't pay attention. I didn't
36 to 32, you can slow it down. What year model's your vehicle?
2001.
Huh?
It's an 01.
Okay. You still live on Wildbriar?
Yes, sir.
You okay?
I'm fine.
Okay. What's your phone number?
836.
You have your insurance card? Okay, give me just a minute.
Insurance is confirmed on a 2001 Jeep.
What's up? 10-4. He made a couple of erratic moves, didn't signal at two different turns. Then when I pulled him over here, he had the car on, foot on the brake with his blinker on, and he wouldn't. So I was pretty sure as soon as I got out, he was just gonna take off. So I had him kill the engine.
How many people are in the car?
3. Female
Passenger. It's kind of irritating to see if he'll let us go ahead and search the car. You want to do an interdict stop on it?
Yeah, I don't know, but when I got up there, it didn't seem like he said, "Oh, we just saw something funny," so we turned around. So
Oh well, I mean, you don't You got a gut feeling on it. Don't even open that door. It's just, you already run him?
I haven't yet, no.
Just run him real quick and we can walk back there and we'll question them, find out what they're doing to come from. So I'm buying more questions and see if they'll give us consent to search the car. So we can find him.
Texas deal, 1-1. Yeah, I was right behind him. He didn't signal a person.
So you guys need to learn this, man. These cops, every cop does this now. According to them, everybody's a drug addict. Everybody's transporting drugs. Everybody. They'll tell you, oh, everybody looks the same to them. They're a hammer and you're a nail. Everybody's a nail. And they're just bam, 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 bam. That's it. That's how they treat people now. It's not using, that word, use discretion, know people, see people you should be able to identify. No, they don't do that no more. They just treat everybody the same. Treat everybody like crap. Everybody's a felon. That's, if they could drag you out of the car every stop, they would. And most of them do. That's why there's so many lawsuits. You need to know your Fourth Amendment rights, please. There's so much information on YouTube now that, and I'm not saying just learn from anybody. No, there's legit information that you can learn and know your rights. Because if you don't know your rights, they're going to have you sitting there answering every... when it says you have the right to remain silent, that's what you should do. Give them your right. If it's a traffic stop, obviously you got to give them your ID, insurance. That's it. You don't have to answer. I don't answer questions. Where you going? I don't answer questions. Where you been? Answer questions. It's none of their business. Do what you pulled me over for, and that's it. These guys now, they want to see how further they can take it. They don't even know who they're dealing with yet. And instead of knowing who they're dealing with and thinking, okay, cool, let's just chill out. No. These guys, see, I'm telling you, how much more will they treat you if they treat this guy? This guy is an AI guy. He's a detective. His position's way higher than theirs. Simple as that.
And then he comes down here to Turner and House and he didn't signal. And when I lit him up, he got to the stop sign, put his blinker on. I said, he's just going to keep going.
Come on.
And then I sat here in the car for a while. That's when I asked for another unit because he didn't let off the brake. You know what I mean? So it was like she was just going to bail as soon as I got out.
Let's go back on the
Before I
question.
even approached him, I had him shut the vehicle off. I was like, what's wrong?
He just lied again. He said he sat in the car for a while because he sat with his foot on the brake. No, he didn't. He got out of the car, walked up, and told him to turn the car off. That's it. That's all he did. This guy is lying.
Do you want to look for dope? We can. Come on.
Yeah.
We'll just question him and ask a bunch of questions and see if he'll give you consent to search.
So you said y'all saw something funny, so y'all were spinning around, or what?
What difference does that make? Seriously, I didn't use my blanker, and I'm sorry for that. Yes, my family, my wife.
Why do you have an attitude with me? What did I do?
Because you're asking me questions that are not relevant. I don't understand what that has.
Well,
to
you
do.
actually don't know the relevancy, right? Because you don't know what I'm asking.
I know what
So-
you're doing. You're using this as a pretext. I'm not. If you think we're using drugs or whatever it is, and you're going to use that to build probable cause to get into my vehicle, I'm the wrong guy. I'm not going to answer
So
questions
you're like
about.
a street attorney or something?
No, I'm a police officer in this town, and I'm just irritated with what you're doing.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
Because I understand what you're.
Where are you, police officer? The county?
The sheriff's office, yes, sir.
Okay.
I told you we saw
So
some.
being that you're one of
we
us,
saw
this is how
some-
you treat your other brothers? I mean, I don't understand
I'm
that.
not gonna go down that road with you. Saw something funny. That's what I told you.
Right.
So that is all. That's it. That's all you need to know. We saw something funny over here at this fire. We turned around to go look at it. What does that matter? What is the relevance?
And you work for the sheriff's office?
in my turn signal.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Hold on just a minute. Okay, that's good right there. So you light your joystick. Idiot.
He just called that other car past him an idiot. What does he expect? These guys act like this car just went around him. You're stopped in the middle of the road. He goes around him. He calls the car that just passed him an idiot. Man, cops are too much, man. They say that they're first responders and they don't act nothing like firemen. They don't act like. I mean, cops are just they're off the wall, and they're all these young. That's the younger generation coming in and they wonder why they're getting shot. They wonder why they're they're getting sued. They're getting fired, and they're going to prison. Think about it. This generation of police officers now, you didn't see that in the 80s and 90s. It's crazy, man.
They say K for 99, let's just stay in the car until he gets him out. Just in case he decides to fucking floor it.
Right.
Be ready.
Floor it.
Jeff Harmon, is he your sheriff's office looking?
Which agency?
He says he works for the county. He's like, well, I do this and I do that, and you're using this for a pretext. Right. I said, why are you giving me that? He said, well, I'm an officer too, and I know what you're doing. I said, well, if you're an officer, then why would you do something like this?
Give me a call county real quick. You see his name is what?
Jeff Farman. 36. I wasn't 36. I wasn't 39.
Jeff Farmer is cleared up since employment.
Sheriff's Department, Julie, may I help you?
Hey, this is with the PD.
Yes.
Hey, got a quick question. Y'all got a deputy or an employee by the name of Jeff Farmer or Jeffrey Farmer that works for y'all?
Yes, we do.
What does he do for y'all?
He is our IA guy.
Okay. Alright, that's what I needed to know. He's kind of acting the butt right now. It's not like he's a cop on a traffic stop right now, so that's why I'm just kind of curious about it.
Okay, yeah, I mean, unless there's more than one Jeffrey Farmer. I mean, we do have a Jeffrey Farmer. He's our IA guy. He's tall, skinny, dark-haired.
He's kind of a young guy, maybe late 20s, early 30s, maybe?
Probably late 20s, 30s. I'm not sure how old he's.
Okay. Alright, that's all I needed to know.
Thank you, man.
Okay, bye.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's their IA guy, so probably why he acts like an ass, right?
Oh, nice.
Hey, tell him that tell him that even though he works their IA. So what was his reason behind the stop?
Me?
No, why did he tell you what was he talking to
Obviously, this was a pretext stop, and that we were only doing this to find dope in the car, and that he knew why I was asking those questions, and then he said, yeah.
Well, if that's the case,
he said, yeah, I failed to signal a couple times, but what difference does that matter? I'm like, sir, if you are one of us, then why would you treat us that way? You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like, I get...
Well, if he knows we got... Have you asked him if we can search his car?
Nah.
Go ask him. He's the one that actually brought up the whole dope thing.
Yeah.
You didn't say anything about dope. You were just asking where's it coming from, so weren't you?
Yeah, well, he said that he saw something funny over here, and so he turned around. And so I said, so he said, you saw something funny. He said, well, honestly, what difference does that make? And I said, he said, that doesn't have anything to do with this. I said, actually, you have no idea what this has to do with because you don't know why I'm asking these questions. And he's like, well, I know why you're asking these questions because this is a pretext stop. And I want to be like, well, this is a known dope area, and you're over here.
7 signal lane change, kind of driving erratically. So, yeah, you found a good description of maybe of a possible drug courier or something.
I'd have never in a million years.
You write him a ticket?
No.
See something right here?
Yeah. That'd go over well, right? Which, I mean, if I had an offense, I would. I mean, other than that, you know, if I had a...
Hey, you found a signal lane change. That's traffic offense.
But you know what I mean. Anything other than that, I probably would.
Don't get offended because he called you out on your pretext stop. You found out.
This young cop is building a narrative and lying because he called him on it. He just walks up, oh, so what was you think was so funny? He was the one being an asshole. He was being a jerk to the guy. I mean, he treated, just like, we're just, seeing, there's a known drug area. Just be honest with the guy. Hey, it's a known drug area. We don't know you, blah, blah, blah. Uh, usually this area. And then the guy could have said, "Yeah, no, I get it." But the cop didn't approach it like that. He's like, "Oh, so what you thought was so funny? Listen, you know." He started off the whole conversation like that. It's just a weird way to start a conversation, and it's approaching it like everybody's just a liar. And I like what he says. And cops are always the ones demanding respect, but they never give it. It's like the cop that slaps you, and then you push him back, and then he says, "Oh, you assaulted me." Wait a minute, you come over and slap me or punch me in my face, and I try to get away from you by pushing you away, and I assault you now. So I can't touch you while you punch me. It's a one way. I'm telling you, man, this government thing needs to change, man. It's not funny no more. It's not. I'm telling you, man. The police are gonna get defunded, man. In these cities, you watch. There's gonna be cities gonna start defunding the police officers, man, because they're not doing their job. They're doing whatever they want.
Traffic
It's
violation.
just aggravating. That's the last person I would expect to do something like that would be one of us. You know what I mean?
Chew his ass out.
He's a chew his butt out. Yeah, yeah. You're gonna go chew out an AI guy. An AI guy. Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's gonna go real well.
Next time he sees something funny, tell him to call us. He's out of his jurisdiction.
Right.
And tell him that since he doesn't work patrol, he doesn't know what he's looking for. And just call us and we'll take a look in it for him.
That's your IA guy for the county. That's the scary thing.
Yeah. Are they still selling down here in this house? Are they still doing it? Are they still selling down here? Okay.
When I first got behind him, though, he was on Pershing. He just made the loop around. He never stopped there. But
where does he live?
Wallbriar. All right, Mr. Farmer. I am a little concerned that you're wanting to, act this way with us. I don't really know if that's your normal demeanor or not, but
you asked me a question.
This was the last person I would expect to give us any kind of problems on a traffic
I had
stop,
already answered it. I don't like being asked the same question twice. You asked me if there's a reason that I didn't use my turn signal. I told you we saw something funny. We turned around to look at it.
Right.
Then you asked it again.
But you act like I'm accusing you of something, and it was a traffic stop because this is a known dope area, and I see a vehicle.
That's the way I answer questions. And sorry if that offended you in some way, and you think that.
Well, I mean, I just don't understand why you would give an attitude to one of your brothers.
Why do you need to understand? You asked a question, I answered it the way I chose to.
Okay, here's your license, sir.
You're wasting your breath.
Oh, I'm sorry. There's your license.
Really? Is that how you treat a brother?
This is a warning, okay? It's a warning only. No need to contact the court. You have a good day, sir.
You see what he did? He threw his license on the ground. He threw his license on the ground. These cops don't care about nobody but themselves. Even if you're another cop and you're not in your suit, that means to them you don't have no authority then. So it's whoever pulls you over has the upper hand, I'm telling you, man, cops they don't care. They caught just a cop laughing at a young girl that got hit by a car and said, donate $2,700 or something because she was, her life wasn't worth that much. And it was laughing on it on the phone, but he forgot his body cam was on. I mean, they're laughing at somebody dead on the street that got hit. And they said that she had limited value anyway in her life. There wasn't much value to her life anyways. Think about that. These are our police officers that the government And then, the guys that back these police officers up in court are worse because they don't see, for some reason, or they don't want to see, don't care about our rights. And the Civil War was for a reason. It was for our Fourth Amendment rights, First Amendment. They went to Civil War. People fought for those rights. Think about it. It can happen again. The North and South went to war. And I'm telling you, the government right now, the police officers right now are our biggest problem in society, hands down right now. And you know what they're making is just not, I don't believe a cop should make 200,000 a year, 150,000 a year. I don't believe that. They should make maybe 30, 40,000 a year, 60,000 a year maybe. And if they break the law, they need to be fully convicted, man. They're no different. In fact, we should be able to hold them more accountable than the average because they didn't take an oath. They did. Can you believe that?
In the days following the traffic stop, Detective Farmer received numerous phone calls from associates, co-workers, and local news outlets wanting information about the Farmer stop. And this is when Detective Farmer first learned about the personally damaging disinformation circulating about the traffic stop, and with reason to believe said disinformation was being disseminated by members of the Lufkin Police Department, Detective Farmer scheduled a meeting with the LPD Chief of Police.
Well, what's happening? I don't know. I'd love for someone to tell me. Do you know what I'm here? Probably, yeah. I watched the video and everything. Did you recently watch it, or did you see it previously? I saw it like a couple days ago, and I said whatever, moved on. I can't say whatever, move on. That's why I'm here. Did you see it before it was sent to my agency? I can't say that I did. Okay, and I know you guys are probably out of the loop, so forgive me. My ears are red, blood pressure's up. I haven't slept much in the last few days, and I've been awake for about 10 minutes. So okay. All right. Well, let's start from the beginning. Because I'm dealing with this. Get us in the loop. The beginning started with this Officer Charles pulling me over. On my way home from a all-day photo shoot, charm cover shoot with my wife and my son at the farmer's market. I spent the day with them, had a good day. We're on our way home from farmer's market, taking the route that we go to get home. They're a dope neighborhood, I guess I'm being told. Okay. And they see something, they're laughing, they want me to turn around and look at it. Some guy with a bonfire in his front yard. I don't know if you can see it on his video or not. I don't know, some guy on a tricycle looked like he was about to drive it right into the bonfire. So they're saying, turn around, turn around, turn around. I said, okay, fine. First street on the Persian, which is how we get home, in Wildbriar. So I turned again, I guess, South Brigade, another left on House, and was about to turn back on First Street. That would have been one loop. He gets out and yells for me to turn off my engine. My first thought was that my old Jeep finally caught on fire or something. I don't know why he's telling me to kill my car. Right. It was unusual to me. And I could tell I could see it, hear it, I don't know. He was elevated. That was the impression I got. Turns out I was right. Comes back, he wants to turn his pretext into a drug interdiction as discussed by him and Witherspoon. Let's do an interdict on this guy. And after they found out who I was, they really turned it up. Witherspoon, they're probably dope in there. Let's ask for consent. And they want to go down that road with me. And I called him out on it because I knew what he was doing. We're tired. We're ready to get home. This kid wants to get in my Jeep for whatever reason. What he sees that makes him believe this is a good interdiction, I have no idea. My son's sitting in the back with a cake in his lap, up to about here. You see what my wife's wearing because Witherspoon's molesting her with his flashlight throughout the entire traffic stop. She's got kind of a see-through dress on because of this photo shoot we just left. Everything about this is bothering me. And then he wants to start citing this brotherhood nonsense, as if that applies in any way. If he's doing an interdiction and he gets caught, I know what he's doing, I call him out on it. What's the issue there? I don't have to answer his questions over and over. I don't care who he is. And he got his feelings hurt. So what I want to know, what about that? What about anything to do with that encounter was so alarming or offensive that someone here felt the need to reach out to, through the good old boy system, to Captain Linderman, who's nothing to do with my chain of command, and say, you know, we're a little bit concerned about one of your guys, you need to come check out this video.
Well, I think one of the problems is in the national media, and we've been pushing, hey, this is the way you act on a traffic stop. You do what the officer says, you ask your questions, you just, if you have a problem with it, the traffic stop, you don't handle it on the side of the road, you go up their chain of command. So, I guess when Truthtellers saw how you acted, and he contacted
Please tell me, how did I act, though?
Well,
or how did he perceive that I acted?
Well, probably the same way I perceive that you acted is not very professional on a traffic stop.
In what way, though? Like, please tell me something
If
specific.
you don't know how you didn't act professional,
I
then
saw
I can't help
the
you today.
video.
If you watch the
Did
video,
I give him my driver's license? I gave him my insurance. I can, as far as the traffic stop, let's break it apart because there's two different things going on here. As far as the traffic stop is concerned.
Well, what's your complaint?
Where in the traffic stop?
Did you not use your signal?
Yeah, I admitted to it.
Okay,
and so
stop, right? Yeah. That's not a pretext stop. I don't know what legal definition you're using.
Pretext stops are stops initiated by law enforcement for a minor traffic violation, with the actual purpose of investigating or searching for evidence of another unrelated crime. Like, for example, if you forget to use your blinker, a cop might not actually care that you didn't use your blinker, but he can use that as his reason to stop you when he actually wants to investigate or search for something else.
A pretext stop is when you have no reason to stop somebody and you just want to search their vehicle.
You know, it's a traffic stop because this is a known dope area.
We know what he was doing. It's crack house. He sees me not use my blinker. He uses it as an excuse to stop me when he otherwise
it's not an excuse to
probably
stop
wouldn't have.
If you violated the law.
Don't get offended because he called you out on your pretext stop. You find out on that traffic violation.
It's just aggravating.
Have you ever pulled over a vehicle and someone acted like you acted, a little evasive, argumentative, and didn't use their blinker, and maybe you wanted to see if they were drinking, so you said, hey, where are you coming from? So I was coming from a bar, or I was coming from a party. Have you ever done anything like that before in your career?
That's my point, Chief. I understand what he was doing.
I
understand what he's doing. I'm okay with that.
Okay.
I do things a little bit different than I have my whole career, but I do get where he's coming from. I'm okay with that. At some point, and I don't think anybody here can argue that I certainly have the right not to sit there and answer those questions. I'd say more out of him. What should I do though? What do I just sit there knowing that it's going on and just go through the motions because this young guy's stumbling through it and trying to get it done? Well, I don't have to do that. I've never heard of a police agency, first of all, complaining to a citizen driver's employer because they didn't appreciate his passive non-compliance on a traffic stop. That is
I don't
appalling.
think you're a citizen driver. You should be held to a higher standard than everyone else because you know the law, you know the Constitution.
Absolutely. I condone my behavior. That is the standard I hold myself to and would hold anyone to, which is, listen to what I'm saying, because I didn't.
Starbucks called Linderman to look at your video.
I'm mad because of what came of that. I started a company a couple years ago that has recently become successful, and I resigned. I told the chief about 6 months ago I'm on my way out.
Right.
I've gotten too busy with my company. So I've been burning time for about the last 6 months after a happy, successful 9-year career with no issues ever. On my terms, I'm finally leaving and moving into the private sector. The first thing that was told to Captain Linderman by this excited young officer who's mad because of my non-compliance is that I was seen circling this neighborhood, this crack house twice, which is an absolute lie. And there was some other exaggerations in there about me not wanting to give my ID, which if you saw the video, that came out immediately. But it wasn't contained very well. And now where it really came to a head for me, beyond everybody in the community thinking that I don't work here anymore. When I go out in public, everybody I see looks at my badge as if they just saw a ghost. Everybody at the courthouse thinks I've been terminated. Where it really came to a head for me was when I was Tuesday down in Baytown at a proposal for a big project that we just got way down south in South Texas, and my phone was blowing up throughout the entire thing. That's when the media finally got a hold of all this. I got out of the meeting, up in Daily News is calling, KTRE's calling, people are leaking it to them. The story, the major story is that I refused to show my ID, wouldn't show it to him, and then I put my badge in his face and said, there's my name, you can read it off my badge. And then on my way home from that meeting, I get a call from one of our clients, one of our biggest clients in Longview, Texas. He has no affiliation to Lufkin. This company is out of Mississippi, and he's talking to my partner who's sitting next to me, my business partner, and says, I need to know what happened with Jeff Farmer. I'm not sure what you mean, because we're still learning how viral this has gone. And he tells him, it got to me that he was arrested late at night after being caught in or near some crack house in his hometown. He's been terminated from his job. And we need to know how this is going to affect our contract with the company. So now we're having to make that explanation. The guy doesn't believe me, because he heard it from who he believed to be a credible source, and he's a retired officer out of Mississippi. He believes it. I don't know what's going to happen with that now.
I don't believe for a second that would come from anyone that was actually involved in the incident that has looked at that video, because they know there's a video, and that's not the case. The whole controversy.
You do have officers here saying that. I listened to one. He said,
They're lying. That young guy has over and over made calls to people like, do you guys know Jeff Turner? Yeah. Why? Oh, well, we pulled him over the other day, or we had him pull over, and we're just kind of checking on him and what he did was he made people think that something was going on. And he goes, oh, I was just calling to check, They're like, you're kidding me. Not Jeff so-and-so. Because this guy's record is like, I'm telling you, you can't be an AI guy. You cannot be an investigator unless you have a tight resume. I mean, you have to have an unblemished resume. I'm telling you, because you're dealing with police officers that are not following the law and breaking laws and committing crimes. So these two guys right here are just backing up their officers. It all started from them. It all started from them and a couple sheriffs.
I was pulled over. I was an asshole, refused to show my ID. The police department had to obtain a photograph of me to verify that I was an employee of the sheriff's office.
I'll tell you what we'll do. We will try to put that out through our supervisors, that is not the case.
Because they're not all watching the video. It's all talk. I know how it works. The Chicago guy comes back, he's pissed off. He says, man, this asshole, he tells a story,
Jeff,
and then it passes from shift to shift to
make
shift.
a statement here about the whole situation. Jeremy Charvo was doing his job, but it was extended because of your response. And that just didn't need to happen. It did, and it's done. We don't have any animosity over the issue. It's no big deal to us. I talked to Greg about it. Greg is not upset about the whole situation. To him, it's not a big deal. It is a big deal with you. And I agree with you. There may be some erroneous information out. We will do our best to try to correct that. But all this other stuff, people talking, we can't control. But Jeff, that stuff came about because of your response, the way you chose to take that thing, not because of what Officer Charlo did.
I understand what you're saying, Chief, but I refuse to take responsibility for that. Officer Charlos is on duty. I'm a police officer all the time. I get that.
Yeah.
He to say that I am responsible for his response, I find that shocking.
Mm-hmm.
If we believe that as citizens, if we're police officers, we're no longer American citizens, then we're already lost. But I don't.
No.
I can.
If a police officer can no longer make a traffic stop on a traffic violation and ask simple
He can.
questions
He absolutely
of the
can. Jimmy.
individual
Of course he can.
and act accordingly from what he sees,
Of course he can.
then
As
where
can
are we
I.
as a society?
No. We're lost when the citizen can't respond the way he wants.
He
Which
can.
was very
He
respectful.
can.
What did I say? I
And the
said,
officer is going to respond
I said,
accordingly.
what difference does it make?
So you said y'all saw something funny, so y'all were spinning around, or what?
What difference does that make? Seriously, I didn't use my blinker, and I'm sorry for that.
That was my response. I said, what difference does it make? And you hear on the video, there was no mention ever of any sort of reasonable suspicion or probable cause or anything. So he obviously wasn't being driven by.
The traffic law.
I realize that. I'm saying
That's probable cause.
no. His investigation beyond the traffic.
Jeff, you are assuming that is the way it was headed.
How many people are in the car?
3.
All right,
Female
let's kind of irritating to see if he'll let us go ahead and search the car. You want to do an interdict stop on it? Just run him real quick and we can walk back there and we'll question them, find out what they're doing when they come down. Stop on with questions and see if he'll give us consent to search the car. So we can find our man. Let's go bug him with
Before I even
questions.
approached him, I had him shut the vehicle. I was like, what's wrong? What's the problem?
Do you want to look for dope? We can, come on.
Yeah.
We'll just question him and ask a bunch of questions and see if he'll give you consent to search. Have you asked him if we can search this car?
Yeah.
Go ask him.
You are assuming that is the way it was headed. You don't know that. You absolutely don't know that. There's no way you can say that.
And this is why we get into trouble in this business. And it's usually interdiction stuff. It gets cops jobs all the time because sometimes they take
Jeff,
it too far.
how do you get interdiction out of this?
You want to do an interdict stop on it?
Yeah.
Do you want to look for dope? We can, come on.
That's a completely
Those are words that came from their mouth.
Well,
you want to interdict this guy? Let's do an interdiction. I mean, that's coming from their mouth. And when you go down that road as an officer, you need to be ready to have your feelings hurt, because at that point it's all voluntary. And we need to understand as police officers that when we ask for voluntary responses, sometimes we're going to be told to go f ourselves. And in such cases,
and what does that do to that officer's beliefs or suspicions?
I mean, did you go, oh man, yeah, you're right. Okay, let me myself. I'm done now. You probably are a good guy.
I just think it's a shame if that's where we're at, that we're saying that if we don't voluntarily give information that we are not required to give, we don't have to talk when police ask us questions. And when that one person who has nothing to hide, especially that's the guy that needs to be okay with saying, I'm not going to cooperate with this anymore. I'm not going to answer any more questions. Yeah. If you're the guy that doesn't have a bunch of dope in your car, you're absolutely the person that should be able to tell that officer
know
I'm going home now.
To begin with.
What? That's where we're.
Well, we're never going to agree on.
We're not going to agree on that because it doesn't matter what he knows. If he can't get there through probable cause, come on, guys.
He's working, trying to get to probable cause.
But I'm not going to help him try to find probable cause, or in some cases it happens. Try to create it through clever questioning. I don't have to do that, right?
So what do you do as a police officer? Do you just have rainbows and unicorns and just drive around handing out candy? You're free to go.
In the days and weeks following his meeting with the chiefs, Detective Farmer began obtaining open records pertaining to the farmer stop. And he was able to find an email that was written from the chief to Officer Chavez that says, you handled the farmer stop very...
Do you understand what he's saying? He's saying that they do this stuff on purpose. He's like, what do you wish upon a star? Blah, 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 you know, what do you do then? So what he's saying is that they push people to the point where if they got to drag you out of the car, arrest you, then and get you for whatever, then they search your car. Like they'll break the law to search your car, is what he's saying. Because he's like, well, if you have probable cause, you can't go into the car. You know what I'm saying?
Well, you stayed calm and didn't allow him to pull you into a confrontation. I commend you on your control. Farmer submitted his resignation letter to the sheriff's office. And then Officer Chavez writes back, thank you, I appreciate it. It was never my intention for him to lose his job. Thank you for letting me know. And then Chief Williamson replies, He did that all on his own. I'm not sure that they even saw the recording before he resigned. The guy obviously has problems. And so now we see the chief spreading rumors himself and making connections to a resignation that was already planned before this stop was ever made.
Sheriff's Department, just Lord, can I help you?
Check one, please, ma'am.
Okay, what's the guy?
All right, last name is...
Okay. This guy's gonna. Here's another guy. This is after everything has happened. Listen to these cops.
Farmer.
Okay, please tell me it's a good first name.
Jeff?
Yes. Is it really?
Yep.
Are you serious?
Yep. Yep.
Are y'all serious? Where'd y'all pull him over at?
House at Turner. Yep.
You pulled him over where?
House at Turner.
He is straight calling the office. And you know, women, I hate to say it, ladies, but I mean, not all women, but even ladies know. That's why some ladies don't like to talk to other women. These girls are like, no, no way. Oh my God. No, not that Jeff. No, not Farmer. You mean Jeff? Jeff? Oh, really? Oh, wow. Oh, let me know. Let me know what's going to happen. This is how it starts. These cops know exactly what they were trying to do. They were trying to ruin his career. And God had his back. He didn't get fired. Was no reason anything he did. He's making way more money than he was as a police officer. He's happier, just not part of all the ruckus, man. These smaller towns are. I'm going to tell you what's going to happen. A lot of these smaller departments, a lot of them have been shut down once or two or three times. They have there's some towns that have 4 or 5 cops, and they're the most dirtiest police places that you'll ever hear about. Some have 10, 15. Most of them have like 10. Most of your regular sized towns have like 10 cops that have like 20,000 people, 30,000 people. They might have, 15 cops. I'm telling you, man, they're going to shut down these smaller, they're going to start defunding a lot of these smaller towns. You watch.
I mean, not Regain House, I'm sorry.
Okay, he's clear, obviously.
Yeah, I thought so.
I thought so.
Yeah, that's...
What did y'all pull him over for?
You know what I mean?
Speeding?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I haven't done that one else yet, but you leave it on the officer goes today, I'm having him call me.
Yes, please do.
Yeah.
Oh, he knows.
You're welcome.
Bye-bye.
He knows.
Jeff was called to testify on behalf of a man he helped exonerate several years earlier. During cross-examination, opposing counsel attempted to impeach Jeff's character by invoking the farmer stop. The attorney asked Jeff, "Were you, during your course as an officer of the sheriff's office, stopped by the Lufkin PD pulling out from a known drug house?" Jeff answers, "You asking if I was?" "Yes, I'm asking if you were." "No, I wasn't." "Never happened?" "No, I know what you're referring to." "What am I referring to?" "You're referring to me being pulled over by the Lufkin Police Department, and I remember that being a rumor that I was in a bad neighborhood when I got pulled over." "And you're telling me you weren't seen leaving a drug house?" I'm actually glad you're putting this on record, because this came up right at the end of my career with the sheriff's office. "But it wasn't proven? Just allegations of that?" the lawyer asks. And Jeff answers, "We were leaving a charm photo shoot. I had my wife and son in the vehicle with me." "Okay, that's a rumor that was started by the officer that got his feelings hurt for pulling me over. And so now this rumor that has been intentionally spread by the Lufkin PD is severely impacting Jeff Farmer's life. And now, a little over 1 year after the farmer stop, Officer Charvez finally found some dope. Now, I don't know the details behind this, but fortunately for the citizens of Lufkin, Texas, apparently Chavez and Witherspoon are no longer peace officers, according to Jeff Farmer.
Really?
The then police chief Gerald Williamson was later promoted to a higher paying position within county government, and the assistant chief David Thomas was appointed to the new police chief. And now, 9 years later, the rumor lives on. Jeff Farmer is approached by Lufkin police for looking suspicious while being parked in an empty parking lot. Nothing comes of it, but the officers do make some calls on body cam asking about Farmer, and we get to hear what the rumor has grown into.
Said he used to be an officer with a SO. There's a gun in the door right here. He doesn't want me to run his name on the radio. Okay. So I'm gonna go check real quick. Okay. I appreciate that. All right. What's going on, man?
Please not put it directly on us. I'm not threatening.
Where do you work?
Sorry?
Where'd you say you work?
I own a security company. Here, let me put the cigarette down so it's not blowing in. I own a security company.
Okay.
Century.
Okay.
Yeah, I just asked him if you wouldn't mind not broadcasting. You gotta run my name, so I get that.
Where do you do security at these days?
The greater Houston area is our largest market, but we're in both the United States. Texas, Louisiana, Oklahoma, up through the Appalachian states, like up to Illinois.
Okay.
Got a big project right now in Whiting, East Chicago, Gary, Indiana. One of the factories there.
Gotcha.
The fuel plants. We do all the police traffic control for those.
You still got your license or no?
Nah. I held on to it for a minute, but it just wasn't. I just didn't need it. I was never going to use it.
Yeah.
It just wasn't worth
So
it.
you have the highest level security?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
As an owner of a security company in Texas, big company, pretty much have all of the different classes. Private investigator, guard service, alarm, dogs, on the car.
You live in the Lufkin area or?
Yeah.
Okay.
You know Columbine? Carlo?
Yeah. Hey man, what's going on?
Hey bro, what's going on?
How you doing?
I'm good.
Just want to ask about it. They said you have a firearm in the vehicle. Is that right? Okay, it's just in the door pocket?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you have any other ones besides that in here? Okay. I got you. So you're a deputy with the SO, Angela County?
No.
Oh, okay.
No. I left there in 2016.
Oh, okay. Are you commissioned anywhere right now?
No, I run a security company. That's why I left the sheriff's office. We started getting busy.
Hey, that's a good problem to have, isn't it?
That's probably it.
Gotcha. Are you working something right now? Or?
No. This is one of the many places I duck out to get on my laptop. Do laptop work. I'm tired of sitting down.
Fair enough. I get it.
Yeah. I sat in the patrol car for those years, and then with the security company, we're always sitting in the car somewhere, and it's just second nature now.
Yeah, I got you. Last name Farmer was real familiar, but I also went to school with Farmer, so I'm sure.
Which one's Todd?
No, Andrew.
How old are you?
24, 25.
Andrew will be 26 in November. That's my son.
Look at that.
Yeah, November 30th will be 26.
Okay. Small world.
It is a small world. That's so strange to me. Saying sir to a cop.
Your kid's age?
Younger
yeah.
than my son, man. Shit gets weird when we start getting old.
He's been cool.
Yeah.
Cole went to school with his son.
Yeah.
He told me not to run his name on the radio. That's weird.
Yep.
Hey, sorry, call.
What you got on him?
Just suspicious person.
I know, but you already let him loose?
No, I'm about to write him a trespass.
Okay. Man, he did work for the county.
Yeah.
I don't know where he's at now. Where is he? Is he at anywhere now or what?
It doesn't look like it.
He said he does. He said he owns a security.
He has a private security license.
Yeah, I think he. Yeah, I can't remember. Did he get run off from the county?
He got run off from the county. He ain't that big a boat.
Yeah, he got run off from the county because several years ago, he was over there around House Street at a known drug house. And he was working at the county at the time. He had some other folks there with him that were kind of shady then. And Charlo stopped him. And it was a big to-do about it because I think he's was buying dope.
Are they still selling down here in this house? Are they still doing it? Are they still selling down here? Okay.
When I first got behind him, though, he was on Persian. He just made the loop around. He never stopped there. But
where does he live?
Wildbriar.
He probably got something, but I mean, he ain't got no.
I'm about to ask him to search it.
Well, yeah, that's why. I mean, unless you see something just pokes up at you where you can get Goop there to run that dog around,
yeah,
I wouldn't even ask him really because, I mean, like I said, unless you. Yeah, just writing criminal trespass. Yeah, ain't that right? Writing criminal trespass.
Yeah. Why can't I ask him to search?
Yeah. Well, I mean, you can. He's gonna tell you no.
Yeah.
Or ask you why. But yeah, go ahead if you want to.
Hey, did you get in like a fight with your wife or something? Or did you like you come back here or something? There's something going on, or?
Do they want me to leave?
Yeah, I got you a trespass.
Then I'll be happy to leave.
Okay. I gotta ask you, man, is there anything illegal in here?
No, there's nothing illegal.
Can I search it?
No, you can't search it.
Okay.
Why would you want to search my car?
Just for, it's really weird, suspicious.
You can ask me
you.
to leave, and I'll leave.
Okay.
I didn't realize I was trespassing. I haven't been given a notice. If you give me the notice, I'm out of here, man.
Okay, well, here it is.
Thank you.
All right, see you later.
I wanted to make this video to show you a couple things. I think it's a great example of how cops start unwarranted fishing expeditions with anyone and everyone. And it shows how thin-skinned these officers can be. Hurting their feelings by not playing along with their games can make you a criminal in their eyes forever. And if they're willing to try and ruin the life of one of their own brothers, as they say, what do you think they'll do to you? And so I'm going to end this video by reading a portion of an email that was sent to me by Jeff Farmer. He says, "I would be lying if I said this hasn't caused me considerable mental anguish over the years, as everyone in my town still believes I was fired or resigned in shame. I spent 9 years as a peace officer and believe that for the most part I had a positive impact on the people I served. I did not participate in the war on drugs and was a strong advocate for upholding civil liberties. And for this, I was viewed as weird. In my last couple years as IA supervisor, I had the privilege of developing all new sheriff's office policies for Angelina County to include arrest, search and seizure, use of force, social media, no thin blue line shit allowed. And for this, I was disliked by the steroid cops covered in ironic We the People tattoos. If you think it's frustrating observing and attempting to change police culture from the outside, imagine what it's like behind the curtain. I am proud to say my message over the years has changed the hearts and minds of several officers in Montgomery County and Angelina County, and a few of them are still on the job carrying forward the message of freedom. Most of them eventually change careers as they can no longer stomach the hypocrisy and lack of compassion. I think we need more officers with the mindset of Jeff Farmer, but what happens all too often is anybody that pushes back against that thin blue line gets kicked out forever. If you like this story, please subscribe for more. Or you can choose.
Okay, guys, listen, chat. He said something very important. If you come against or disagree or uphold your rights with a police officer, they look at it as if you're just guilty. And they treat you like that. Look how they said he was acting a certain way with that young police officer when he answered questions, he gave his licenses, everything. But from the gate, all they could talk about was getting a dog, getting into the car, even after knowing he was a police officer. Not once did they say, well, you know, he has his daughter in the back, he's got the wife in the front, you know, he's got his family with them. Not once did they consider any of that. He's a police officer. His daughter's in the car. His wife's in the car. She's got a big giant cake on her lap. He tells them, this is where we just came back from, a photo shoot, blah, 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 da, da, da. And to be reamed to 9 years later, that thing still goes all over the air. That just shows you that police officers, they have this really bad culture. And I'm going to tell you something. 80% of police officers, you're gonna trip on this. 80% of them have a record of abuse with their spouses, girlfriends, and what you're seeing now in the news, there's some that have actually killed their wives or are in prison now because of beating them. It's a huge problem. I'm going to tell you what it is, man. The majority of them are on steroids now, they said. And when they come home, see, they're used to telling everybody in the world what to do. And when they get home, the family's going to be treated the same way. Why not? Because it's part of the ego. And anybody that's going to challenge that must submit. Please subscribe, hit the button. If you like what we're doing, we're headed in the right direction, exposing the truth and the hypocrisy. Hypocrisy. Let's do it together. Please help us hit our first 1,000, man, so we can start. I want to get on one with the big boys and we can do bigger things, because once we hit our first 1,000, it opens up more for me to do. Thank you guys. Love you guys. Until next time, let's just keep it real. Holy